Hello, Sanford. Welcome to another episode of the Sanford Says podcast. I'm Nico, your host for today, stepping in for Lisa while she's off doing some incredible work with our Mayor's Youth Council this week. Lisa, we hope you're having an amazing time. Now, don't worry, just because Lisa's out doesn't mean we're slowing down. In fact, I'm here to keep the energy going as your pod father of Sanford for the day. And let me tell you, we've got a fantastic episode lined up for you. Today, I'm joined by some very special guests, Tina McIntyre, a Florida-friendly landscaping extension agent for Seminole County Parks and Recreation, and our very own Michael Cannon here at City of Sanford. And today we're talking about something very important, the WaterWise Seminole event. So get ready to listen to some awesome facts about water conservation and learn about our free WaterWise Seminole event happening in April, because April is Water Conservation Month. All right, here we go. Wow, it's great to meet you, Tina. And as the new digital media specialist for the city, I was unaware of this event. Can you tell me more about it?
This is Tina McIntyre, Florida-friendly landscaping agent at the University of Florida IFAS Extension in Seminole County.
Yeah, we're super excited to continue this wonderful partnership that we've fostered over the last several years between the Florida-friendly landscaping program, Seminole County, UF IFAS, and of course the city of Sanford. So at UF IFAS, we are really bringing the research and the science of landscaping to the public, and that's what we do. So we're doing it through our wonderful series of WaterWise events. And in each county, it's a little different, but here in Seminole County, we have a robust Florida-friendly landscaping program. And so what we want to focus on is that Water Conservation Month, Earth Month, and just really get people thinking about how they can make a difference in their local environment, if that's their yard or even their patio, at their apartment complex or wherever they live, that they can better their community through Florida-friendly landscaping and helping pollinators, things like that. So we've created this kind of bonanza of events.
Yeah, I see.
Over the last 5 years, we've partnered with City of Sanford to offer this, hosting the podcast and doing all these great events to be able to just bring the community closer to understanding the principles of Florida-friendly landscaping and offering things in a mixed mode. So we have the virtual, we have the in-person, and just really highlight the focus of the importance of our water. So our water quality, so the quality of our surface waters, our groundwater, and then also water quantity. The amount of water that we have here is finite. And so focusing on that water conservation and those practices around our irrigation systems and the different things that we can do in our yards.
Okay, that's
And
good
our
to know.
annual event is going to be at the Lowe's in Sanford at 3780 South Orlando Avenue, and that's going to be on April 12th from 9:30 to 11:30. So we encourage our residents to bring in their old shower heads.
Okay.
And we'll exchange those out with a new,
I'll do that.
more efficient water shower head.
Yeah, and that's kind of the coup de grace event. We have that. But at the Lowe's, it really is a bit of a circus, but it's a well-oiled machine at this point.
Everyone loves a circus.
Yeah.
No clowns.
Yeah.
This
so
one.
we have all the giveaways from the different webinars going on outside of the garden center. And then inside the garden center, we'll have lots of tables with information, spin the wheel, giveaways, just all kinds of things. We have a raffle. Mike was able to get us a grill and a toilet donated from Lowe's.
Okay, that's
So
even
we'll
more
be
incentive.
Raffling off that the day of. And that one you just literally can show up and win. So you don't have to participate in any of the webinars to be eligible for the Lowe's giveaways.
Well, let's talk about those webinars, because there's some exciting things that people can win just simply by registering and attending the webinar and then filling out some questions following the webinar.
Yes. So in extension, of course, we're science-based. So all of our education is based and rooted in science. And that applies to our Florida-friendly landscaping principles as well. And we also like to do things to where we're making sure that we're meeting the demands of the client and, really offering services that lead to behavior changes. And so we do that through surveys. So with each webinar, we'll ask that the user completes a survey,
Okay.
and that it's super quick, but it's just helps us understand that they, learn something, but also that they're feeling more confident to be able to adopt these different behaviors. And once they get those, different conservation kits or rain barrels or trees, that will also continue to empower them. So we offer these webinars, which I'll talk about in just a second, and then we survey after the webinar. And then in about 3 months after the webinar, we follow up with our clients and say, hey, were you attended the webinar, you got your tree, you got your rain barrel, did you plant it? Were you able to actually implement these Florida-friendly landscaping principles? And so we just try to follow up with them in a couple months to really understand, are you able to change those behaviors regarding your irrigation or your plant selection, things like that. So in the webinars themselves, we focus on education, and the 3 webinars we have are, the first one is going to be Thursday, April 1st at 10 a.m. It's a 1-hour webinar, and we're focusing on reclaimed water. And so this is part of our bigger push of Reclaiming Water program, where we educate on reclaimed water, which is basically utilizing wastewater and transforming it into usable irrigation water for landscapes. And so if you're interested in that, or you have reclaimed water, you have questions about it, you want to learn more, or you're just interested in getting one of our great conservation kits, which is a $50 value. We have 35 that are going to be given away with that class.
Okay.
So if we have 35 people, then everybody's a winner.
I think you're going to get 35 people, especially with a giveaway.
Right. So register today. That's going to be a great one. It's kind of part of a bigger series. So, but we're kind of wedging it into our Earth Month and Waterwise series. And in the conservation kits, we're giving away weather stations, rain sensors, T-shirt, rain gauge, all types of things to be able to help people calibrate their irrigation system, watch the weather, irrigate according to the weather first, use that rain as a first choice, and our irrigation second, because that comes from our aquifer or our finite amount of reclaimed water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the first one. That's on, again, April 1st at 10 a.m. And we are on Eventbrite, Facebook, and that will be delivered through Zoom. So if you want to sign up, that's how you would find those events.
And we'll also have this on our social media pages as well, along with I see on the flyer, there's QR codes.
That's right.
So if nobody wants to type it,
I love my QRs.
just scan the QR and it'll get you right there.
And look in your water bills, because we got a water bill stuffer also noticing about the event, so you'll save that information as well.
So all our analog people, it's all available. It's right there.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Those bill stuffers have been going out, so thank you, Mike, for doing that. Our second webinar is going to be on Tuesday, April 8th at 2 o'clock, and that again is a 1-hour webinar too. It's called Rain Barrels for Your Florida-Friendly Landscape, and that one is going to be offering 12 rain barrels to 12 lucky winners.
12? Oh,
yeah,
geez.
and those things go for about $150 each, so quite a high value item there. We usually have great turnout on that webinar, so I definitely encourage you to register today. And with that one, we'll be teaching you how to make a rain barrel, why you'd want to have a rain barrel, how to prevent mosquitoes, of course, is a big thing in Florida with standing water.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be having a mosquito breeding pit in their backyard. So we teach you how to do all that, maintain them, when you get a hurricane, what to do, touch on all those topics so that everybody feels confident that when they get their rain barrel or when they build their rain barrel, they know how to kind of maintain it and things like that.
That'll be my first time learning about rain barrels. That's what I'm excited about too, because when I saw that, I'm like, what would I do with that? Because, being in Florida all this time, we've all dealt with mosquitoes, but hearing about this now, I'm like, so there was a way I could have mitigated this entire time instead of looking on YouTube at weird hacks.
Right. Yes. Trust the science at IFAS Extension. We have research-based information, and so definitely bringing that to you here. And the rain barrels are a great way to save water. So it's a great way to get excited about saving water too. Even though they're only 55 gallons.
So we might not be saving a ton, but every time it rains, it refills. And so then we can use that rain barrel to hand water our gardens, our trees, things like that. And it allows for more of a connection with the landscape, which is why I like them, because you refill the water can and then you're going around actively looking at your landscape, which is a great way to connect with it. So, I really love those rain barrel classes. And
That's awesome.
I'm co-teaching that one with my coworker, Katie McCormick, who's also an extension agent at our office.
And then probably the most popular of the giveaways, and we'll have to give a thanks to our Parks and Recreation Department, because they are the ones that are donating trees this year, 125 trees
That's right.
to be given away as a part of this event.
Shout out to Robert and his crew for donating the trees, getting with the nurseries, making sure that they're Florida friendly. We don't want to be giving away any invasive trees or things like that are not going to work in our county. So every single one on the list is going to be Florida friendly, great for your yard, a great plant selection. So I'm excited to reveal those species on the webinar when we talk about trees and pollinators for a beautiful Florida friendly landscape. And that one is on Thursday, April 10th from 2 to 3 o'clock. Again, available for registration on all those platforms. And we're also kind of tucking in the pollinators into that one. That was a new one for this year.
Okay.
Usually we focus mostly on trees, but with this year, we're going to incorporate a little bit about pollinators and pollinator, trees for pollination, or even just butterfly plants for pollination. And that's because City of Sanford has always been so gracious with offering 25 butterfly container gardens. And these are wonderful, sizable butterfly container gardens. So you're getting the pot, you're getting the soil, and all those butterfly plants in them.
Okay.
And so we want to touch a little bit on those species during the webinar so people know what they're going to be getting. And these are beautiful. They really, I've had people who say, like, I just live in an apartment, but I put that out on my porch and I'm getting pollinators, I'm getting larvae, I'm getting butterflies. And it's just a great way to get excited about,
That was actually
And
one
I
of my
know
questions.
Last year there is already larvae on these container
nice.
plants, and we actually saw some butterflies hatch at the event.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be good for people just to video that and put that online as well.
Right.
'Cause I was going to ask about those who live in apartments, how they can also, do their part as well. If you don't own a house,
Right.
that's also a good way.
Absolutely. We also offer a lot of trainings and certifications for Florida friendly landscaping. So if professionals are, interested, we try to reach other people within the landscaping community as well. So
All right.
lots of ways to get involved. But again, that Trees and Pollinators class is going to be on Thursday, April 10th at 2 o'clock. And the way that it works, so that tree class, you can get one of 125 trees. A nice tree from Lowe's is going to cost you about $35 at least. So, and these are pretty nice trees from the nursery. Now, if you attend all 3 webinars, you can be eligible for those butterfly container gardens.
Okay.
So those are the high value item. We know people love them. So if you attend all 3, the one on April 1st, 1st, 8th, and 10th, then you'll be eligible as well for those butterfly container gardens. So lots going on there with all the giveaways, the conservation kits, to the rain barrels, to the trees and the butterfly container gardens.
Barbecue
so
grill, low flush toilet.
The barbecue
Right.
grill, I'm most excited for, because
Right.
I've been eyeing a few, and it's like, well, all I got to do is this could be my lucky day.
Yeah, and we have to honor Lowe's in this.
For
that
sure.
they let us use their space at the garden center, so we're right there. Everything, different Florida-friendly plant selections are available. We have our tables. We'll have our fleet of master gardeners and experts there to help with, literature and any questions that people might have about their landscape or irrigation system or anything like that. And then just that they are sponsoring, yet again, and we
Yes.
just really appreciate that.
And use it as your opportunity to get those other Lowe's supplies while you're at the event.
Yeah, mulch
That's
is
awesome.
Florida-friendly principle, and 2 to 3 inches, so you grab some mulch while you're there, and, you just get your landscape all ready to go, because we all know the summer is coming. And the heat
It's
is
knocking on our
coming,
door.
and so
Florida
we-
winter's over.
That's right. Yeah. So now's the time to get out and enjoy spring and get your landscape ready to combat the weeds and, get those Florida-friendly plants in the ground.
Now, you mentioned, you've talked to people in the past. There's been a lot of success stories of people who've gone to your WaterWise events. Have they come back to you and say, look, I did this, I did that, and this is what happened for me?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have an amazing following here in Seminole County and beyond. We're very lucky that they really do take the knowledge, the education, and look, and then also the giveaways. So even when we're doing classes just out of our office in Sanford at the extension office, if we do a webinar or workshop, if it's on composting or whatever the topic may be, we're trying to give people tools to enable them to do that behavior. So, if I have to go find the wood and build a compost pile and get some used pallets and break them down, or, that's a lot to ask for a busy family or things. So it's like, here's the tools that we're, asking you to use to be able to help the environment. And that's what we really try to do to get rid of those barriers to entry. All of our classes are always free, unless it's for professionals. We occasionally charge. But all of our classes for residents are free, and then we are also giving you those things to help you, help the environment.
And for residents, do they have like simple changes? Say they just can't go to the webinars. Are there simple changes that they can make in their home to help with the cause, preserving water and everything like that?
We have a YouTube channel with tons of videos. A lot of our recorded webinars are on there. Florida-friendly landscaping tips. There's also the university. So this is a University of Florida program based out of IFAS Extension, and there's a ton of information on the university's website. I believe it's ffl.ifas.ufl.edu.
Okay.
But University of Florida FFL should also get you there.
Okay.
And so there's a ton of resources online just to get inspired. And then we also have our Master Gardener Help Desk, which is a little known secret that we actually have an office for our volunteers because they are that expert at how we train them. You can call that Master Gardener Help Desk any time of the day between 9 and 12 or 1 to 4. You can email, you can send in pictures, inquiries, and we'll help answer those questions that you might be grappling with about, everything from pretty much all the outside stuff of your house.
Yes.
Trees, trimming, landscaping, turf, soil sampling, all that. We offer that through our Master Gardener Help Desk. So that is a fantastic service that we're able to offer to the community.
Okay.
And
what about so you mentioned volunteers. Are they actively looking for volunteers? So if I'm coming off the street, like I've always wanted to do this, can I just apply and then be part of the solution?
You can. So we typically will take Master Gardener openings in August or September. We start kind of putting out the flags of, hey, are you interested? Then we'll do like a meet and greet. We do interviews with the volunteers. And then if you're on board, we do our training. Now it is a multiple week training that they go through. There are scholarships available, but we do offer that training so that they're intensely trained on all the different topics for landscaping. I mean, you would be surprised what kind of questions we get. And so they're Master Gardener trained volunteers, and they're able to, sit at that help desk and go out into the community, educate people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That seems like a great way to, not even having volunteers, but teaching kids to start these methods early, because the earlier the better, and then they grow up wanting to do this and then teach their kids and so on and so forth. I know for myself, this is like one of the first few times as an adult, now that I own a home, that I'm actively paying attention to what's happening. I'm paying attention to like, okay, what's going on with the reclaimed water, what's going on with this, like how do I be a better citizen to not only my city but also the environment. It's Earth, we got to take care of it.
That's right.
So I really appreciate talking about that for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned youth, so we do offer our 4-H program through our office at Extension, and this summer we're offering 2 bug camps. So we have bug camp for the littler kids.
Yeah, love some bugs.
And we get them in the river, and we get them, netting, the insects and things, and then we also offer our entomology camp for the
wow.
teenagers.
Okay.
And so we have a ton of youth programming, and some of it is in partnership with City of Sanford. I think we just did a bicycle program that won an award. To get people
Oh,
on
wow.
bicycles. So there's lots of different topics. I know a lot of times people think 4-H, they think horses, and that is also true. But we have robotics and all kinds of different things.
Science. I
as
love
well.
science. That's it's amazing. Now, are there any, since you've been doing this, are there any habits that you've taken home that you weren't doing before, since starting these events, and now you're like, I think I learned something today that I thought I knew?
For me personally, I think it's part of my DNA.
Oh, yeah.
I was, a total outdoor kid.
Okay.
As a young kid, and climbing trees and getting in the bushes,
Playing in the mud,
and catching lizards, and so I'm always learning something.
Okay.
That is always true. But what's fascinated me in my career is moving from studying nature to now, with my PhD studies, really studying more people and how do people
wow.
interface with the environment. What makes them think about the environment? What makes them be motivated to change their behaviors? And so that's kind of part of my work right now.
That's fascinating. For me, I walk along the river walk all the time, and just because I care about it, even before I worked for the city of Sanford, I just found myself, I had gloves in my car, and I would just pick up random trash, because I've always cared about that, because I love a beautiful looking park. I love a beautiful little trail, especially a trail to skate at. So I think that's fascinating, studying human behavior. Like, what stops me from, like, you know what, I'll pick up this Coke can and throw it in here. It takes 2 seconds versus the person who'll just skate on by or walk by. And I find that fascinating for studying, because that is human behavior. Human behavior helps us learn about the environment, because we have to take care of it.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, especially here in Sanford.
What inspired you, Mike?
Well, I've been in water in most of my career, so
Yeah.
obviously it's something of interest to me, and also on the wastewater side. But this will be my second WaterWise event. I was really amazed at the turnout last year. So looking forward to seeing everybody at Lowe's on April 12th.
Yeah.
I'll be there for sure. It'll be a great time to, one, just bring the community together. Now, you said how many years have this done?
This will be the 5th year.
5th year.
Yeah, we've done a few iterations just around COVID.
So 2020 was pretty much, that is an interesting year to say.
It was an interesting year to watch.
It was like, okay, we're going to start this now. But I can't imagine there's growth every year of people that are just interested, and especially Lowe's saying, you know what, please keep coming back. We need people to come here and just learn about this fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what other things should people look forward to after this event? Do you have anything on the docket yet?
So we're going to continue offering our reclaimed irrigation water classes, so that Reclaiming Water series will continue. We have some additional dates in April. So I believe April 15th, we have another class. That one might be in person. All the dates and everything are on our Eventbrite page for IFAS Extension Seminole County. And so those classes will continue to be offered. That's actually brought to us by a Florida Department of Environmental Protection grant that we were very lucky to get, because we do have quite a bit of reclaimed here in the county. And so we'll continue to offer that education. So, if they can't make it for this series here for WaterWise, we'll continue to offer that. So that's definitely something to check out. We also have a Green Industries Best Management Practice class coming up. That is for our professionals or people who are interested in the field, or maybe even our Master Gardener volunteers.
That's awesome.
So people who have a little bit next level interest in the landscaping industry. That's going to be on May 28th, and it's a full day training.
Okay.
For anybody that has their fertilizer or pesticide license, they can actually get continuing educational units for that. Or like I said, anybody who's kind of itching to get into the industry, it gives you that initial certification that's needed to get your fertilizer license. And those are held through the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. So
Okay.
That class it's a long day, but lots of great information.
That's all right.
And we'll have lots of information. And we do offer the test in both English and Spanish.
Okay.
So
That's
people
good
can
to know.
test in English, Creole, or Spanish, but the class itself is going to be in English.
And the city is currently in the process of setting up a water customer user portal. Look for that to come early June, where you'll be able to sign up and you can actually monitor your water usage on an hourly
That'll
basis.
be brilliant.
Right? Isn't that awesome?
That'll be brilliant.
That really is, because there's so many questions, and that's one of the first homework that I give for this April class. And not to scare anybody off, but it's literally just log into your portal, make sure you have your login and password, see what your usage is. You know, for a lot of people, they have it on auto pay, or maybe their spouse pays it, or they just don't really think about it. And so get in there, check it out. And they're making it even easier to do that now with all this upgrading and portal and everything.
You'll be able to set up alerts for water usage. You know, if your daily usage exceeds a certain amount, you'll be sent an alert to check for leaks in your home.
Right?
It's really a user-friendly system. If you're going to leave, go on vacation, set up a vacation alert. You can override your current alerts to, if you see water happening and you're not home, then you can contact our customer service department and request that we shut your water off until you return.
That's incredible.
I have to say, personally, like, I experienced a slab leak 2 years ago, and we were out of town, but luckily we had somebody come over to check on our our pets and stuff. So having that system in place, if this was like that happened now with this new technology, that would have been like amazing.
Right.
What do you think causes the most usage for people that don't know in their home for water? Like, what is the appliance or device that causes the most usage?
Toilets probably are one of the biggest culprits. A lot of times running toilets.
Yes.
These meters have continuous flow indicators on them. So be careful if you pull off the meter box lid, because there's wires attached to it, to an antenna. But if there's a plus on the dial of the meter, that means that water's flowing through the meter, so you have continuous flow. Our customer service department is currently monitoring those and sending out continuous flow alerts to our customers to get them to check for active water leaks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that'll be great for whoever wins that low flow toilet.
Yeah. Yes.
But actually, when we look at the entire home, so inside the home, I would say is definitely toilets. But if you're incorporating that irrigation system, that typically will use 50 to 60% of the home water use.
Okay.
So that's why we have Florida-friendly landscaping all throughout the state, and kind of partnering with cities and counties and municipalities to be able to offer these ideas through Florida-friendly landscaping, because most of our water use, 50 to 60%, is actually in that irrigation system.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you don't have an irrigation system, obviously thinking about other ways, turning off the faucet and, packing your dishwasher and,
yes, you
all
don't have
the
to run
great
it for one
things.
plate.
Yeah. But that irrigation system, even just a good calibration, will save a significant amount of gallons of water, relative to the rest of the consumption.
That's awesome to hear. And I know I'm going to take these tips to heart. I'm a big hand wash dish person. I have a dishwasher, but I'm like, I just use the plate. Might as well just run it, do it real quick, wash it in the sink. But that's good to know for those who, I wouldn't say overuse their machines or overuse certain things, but just be mindful. So April, if, is really I would say a very mindful month, or for the rest of the year too, but that is the time to start thinking about it at these events. So don't feel ashamed if you didn't know before. You go to these events and you know now. And it's okay.
Yeah, and Mike was saying that the city's doing a proclamation.
Yes, at the commission meeting on the 31st, next Monday, there'll be a proclamation just Sanford recognizing April as Water Conservation Month.
And we'll be live streaming that commission meeting as well. So for those that can't attend, but be sure to tune in to that on our YouTube. And all this information will also be available on Sanford's website as well. So is there anything else that people would like to, or you would like to let the people know?
I think that's mostly it. Just registering for those webinars. We look forward to having you attend those webinars, and then also in person at the Sanford Lowe's Saturday, April 12th from 9:30 to 11:30. We will let those winners know, so not everybody can win a tree, but if you are one of those lucky winners for the giveaways, we will email you after all the surveys are completed, and look forward to having you pick up your goodie.
And for the grill and the low flush toilet, you must be present to win. So if you do your shopping, make sure to be back at 11:30, and we'll have the drawing for those 2 prizes.
Right.
That's good to know. Well, they're not
Good
shipping
stuff.
it to you.
Right. We do get that question.
Did you want you to ship this toilet to me? No.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you both being on the Sanford Says podcast. You can come back anytime. This is something I would love to talk about every day, every single day, because it's important. But again, this is Nico with Sanford Says. I've been here with Tina and Mike, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.